Okay, you guys, I don't know a lot, but what I do know is that it is crummy, crummy, rainy outside. I also know that the inside of that cupboard is absolutely filthy and messy, and you don't need to see it. Ha ha ha. Well, welcome back to another TBR. It is March TBR. It is almost a week into March by the time that I'm filming this. However, we're going to have a good time, okay? Let's get the jar out, shall we? Oh, it's such a rainy day here, but the weather is sublime. Like, it's in the 50s out there. You guys, it's just beautiful. My TBR is like out of control right now. It's this bottom shelf and then this tower right here. I used to have 2 shelves for my TBR, but then I cut down, which is awesome. That was the sound of my dog absolutely demolishing the door to get to his food. I'm gonna move the door for him. Where was I going with this? If you're new here, hi, my name is Hannah. Yeah, if you're new here, my name is Hannah. Welcome. Happy to see you. Even though we never met. Happy to see you. Oh, I was explaining why this is a huge mess back here. Because I didn't have enough to take up 2 full shelves and I wanted to put some of my books on that shelf. So it's piled there. That's all I had to say about that. A book you think will be 5 stars. Ooh, let's see. We're gonna pick 6 books, by the way. I picked 6 for my TBR. We're doing things crazy today, aren't we? I am going with Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I've heard that this is a cozy fantasy, and it is a trilogy. The 3rd book is coming out right now. I thought I owned the 2nd book, but maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. I don't own the 2nd book, but I own this 1st book, and I love this one. I got the one with like kind of a rough edges. Very cute. I've heard a lot of really good things about this. A lot of people that I follow like it. Basically, I believe it is a scientist? Professor. Basically, a professor goes into like fairy territory to learn more about fairies and, you know, grow her, what am I doing? Research. Yes. She's a Cambridge professor, Emily Wilde. She goes to research fairies for her class, but she finds out that like another professor is there to research the same thing. So it's kind of like a rivalry, enemies to lovers type thing, but I don't think the stakes are very high at all. Very cute. Look at this cover with the little mushrooms. Oh, it just seems precious and darling and a cozy fantasy. And for me, spring is the time I want a cozy fantasy. Not fall, but spring. It's just perfect. Vibes are exquisite, and I think this is going to be a good pick for March. Welcome to the family. Oh, I will say this as well. Of my 6 books, I also do a book for my book club over on Patreon. Link is going to be in the description if you ever want to join. But this month we are reading a book called The Rose Bargain. This is a new release. I think last month it came out in February, and I have been looking forward to it so much. It's been compared to the Selection series. It has been compared to Throne of Glass. It's just been compared to a lot of my favorite book series in the fantasy realm, and so I'm really excited to see where this one goes. And growing up, the Selection series was like my series, and even as an adult, it's something that I tell people to read. Most of my friends hate it when they read it because it's a YA thing, and I think maybe it was like wrong time, like I was in the right time and right place in my life, and now, like, as an adult, it might not hit the same for the first time, but all this to say, Rose Bargain is what we will be reading over in book club if you're interested in reading that. I believe the basic premise is that you can exchange things to look more beautiful or to obtain status, and so it's like, what is this woman willing to sacrifice in order to have a higher status or obtain beauty? The Rose Bargain. What can I say? Okay, the next thing is a book with more than 300 pages. Okay, I got plenty of those. Why we don't stack things, because stacking things can be dangerous. Ooh, more than 300 pages. Heartless Hunter, also known as the Crimson Moth in some countries, but Heartless Hunter in the US. This book is a fantasy series. The 2nd book just came out, is about to come out, just came out, is coming out soon. I believe next month. This is an enemies to lovers book with a witch and a witch hunter. I believe the witch herself is trying to help people of her own kind escape, because I think they're just constantly being hunted, hence Heartless Hunter. But she herself is a witch, undercover, and she doesn't want her identity to be known, but it's enemies to lovers with a witch hunter. So I believe that the stakes are really high in this book. My cup of tea. I really love an enemies to lovers or like a slow burn kind of romance, especially in fantasy. So this is something I'm really looking forward to. Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. Let's see, book number 4. A book with close proximity romance. I don't know. See, I don't read a lot of romance, but I'm seeing this one right up here that I had on my TBR last month and didn't get to. Let's see if it's close proximity. They're not in like the same house, but they're neighbors on vacation. So I'm going to call that close proximity because it's like they're away from their normal civilization and they are like, yeah, close proximity. I say neighboring houses is close enough of a proximity. We'll be reading Beach Read by Emily Henry. This one is about two authors. They write in very different genres, but they're both kind of in writing ruts, as it were, or like dry spells where they can't come up with like a new book. And so both of them challenge each other to write in each other's styles. I believe one is like, let's see, romance author, and then the other one's like a murder mystery author. So they switch genres to try writing in and critique each other's work over the summer. They are neighbors, close proximity. I'm calling that good. And I do know that with Emily Henry's books, I've only ever read Happy Place, and I believe I gave that 4.5 stars. Like, it was really, really good. And I think Emily Henry will be an author that I like. I need to give her more of a chance. So Beach Read, I think, is going to be my cup of tea, because they do say that like you're either beach read or book lovers. Something tells me I'm going to be a beach read girl. So looking forward to this one. 2 more books. Okay. I pulled out 2. So a book with a male main character. I know what is it over here? No, it's not. But it's in my books that I want to read this year, and this is immediately what comes to mind. I am choosing Count of Monte Cristo, The Count of Monte Cristo. This has been a phenomenally high-ranked book that a lot of people have read and said changed their life. So I'm desperate to read it. I really want to read it. It's very Shawshank Redemption type beat where a man is imprisoned and it's his journey to redemption as well as escaping said prison. I really want to read that one. It's super long though. Like, it is like huge, so I have it on my Kindle. But that has a male main character, so that was what I will be reading for that prompt. Amazing. And classic, and on my 25 and 25 book list. So a YA book. Do I have any more on the shelf? I don't know. Are any of you YA? Are any of you YA? Is this book YA? Okay, found one. Ember in the Ashes by Salvatore here. This is technically part of book 1 of a series. Why am I starting? Hey, Simon, leave the cupboard alone. Why am I starting a new series? I don't know. Do I need to be starting another new series? No, surely not. But I'm excited to read this one, Ember in the Ashes by Salvatore here. So our main character's brother gets imprisoned in the Empire, and so she's going to do whatever it takes to get him free, including become a spy. How interesting. So, fantasy. She's a very good author, and I've heard a lot of amazing things about this series. I also thought it was really pretty, so I went ahead and bought the first book. I like the spines, like create little pictures next to each other. Oh, it's gonna be so beautiful. Anyway, Salvatore here, Ember in the Ashes. Let's recap. I will be reading The Count of Monte Cristo, The Rose Bargain. I will be reading The Ember in the Ashes by Salvatore here, Beach Read by Emily Henry, Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli, and Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video with some exciting new reading vlogs. Bye!